I got to go with my gut instinct, and my gut instinct is to iron sharpens iron. You're a football player, you're healthy, go out there and try to win the game and play your best.
TV, here we are, headed into week 18
Yep.
of the NFL season. Brings up the question, a common debate in these last couple weeks of the season, I feel like, is rust versus rest, right? And when a team's wrapped up a playoff spot or a division, you start your guys, or you get everyone healthy going into the playoffs. What's your take on it?
So I think it's a lot of tough decisions to be made, because it depends kind of where you're at in the season and where you kind of are trying to elevate your team to get to. I remember last year the Eagles had such a great run and were playing such great football, and they rested a few players at the end of the season because they wanted them really fresh. Saquon was one of them. And then he went on to have a obviously terrific playoff run and then win the Super Bowl. So in that instance, it worked out. If you take off too much time, I do think there's a degree of rust in this sport that you don't want, because when you go into playoff football, you can't afford to go through the first 2 quarters of the game at a slow start and have a slow start off to a slow pace, not score points or not stop, because you're playing against too good of a football team. So my belief is you have to go in as sharp as possible. So if you're fighting for a number 1 seed, of course you're going to play. Sometimes when you're locked into, let's say, a wild card matchup, maybe you can rest a few players that maybe aren't entirely healthy, which I think is smart. But to rest healthy players, I was never quite in favor of that. There's a few times where I actually played the first half of a game and not the second half. I wanted to start every game. There were a few times I got taken out at halftime and watched the backups go in and play. It always leaves maybe a little bitter taste in your mouth when you lose those games late in the year, when you feel like you're trying to get into the playoffs. But the overall health of the team is so important in these critical postseason matchups.
There's no team meeting, there's no debate, the undefeated season. When you guys wrap the crown up, should we take a few off here?
So we were going for 16-0, and that actually was one of the best games of the year when we went in 07 to the Meadowlands to play the Giants in week 17 at that point. And we played our butts off that game just like they did. And it was a great kind of Super Bowl preview, but we felt sharp throughout, and we knew we had the bye week after that. To take an extended period of time off when you have the bye and take the extra week, I do think that's a lot of time off for sure. So again, you don't want to be rusty going into the biggest games of the year against the best teams.
People are saying, there's a lot of armchair quarterbacks out there saying it might have been an 8th Super Bowl ring if Tom Brady had sat down that week.
Not entirely sure about that. I got to go with my gut instinct, and my gut instinct is to iron sharpens iron. You're a football player, you're healthy. It's great for you to go out there and try to win the game and play your best, because there's always a degree of risk involved. Now, if you got some injuries and you need to take a week off, I think that's the best approach as well.
Year 2 with Fox almost crazy time flies.
Crazy time flies, and it's gone really fast. And first of all, I want to say thank you to all the fans who have kind of followed us all season along with our power rankings and our story time. And also I want to say thank you to my incredible Fox crew that I've loved this year. We've had so much fun from week to week, traveling to different cities, seeing different fan bases, watching different organizations, and hopefully bringing a great brand of football to your Sunday afternoons. We've had the time of our life. I hope you've had that too.